What if the next 5 months of Bears football came down to a single heartbeat? The snap, the hold, the thump of leather cutting through a lakefront crosswind. And the guy built for that moment isn't wearing navy and orange yet. Imagine Soldier Field in December, breath in the air, scoreboard blinking, season teetering, and a closer striding out like he owns the gusts. If you just felt your shoulders drop because you've seen that movie end the other way, good. That urgency you feel, that's exactly why this conversation can't wait another day. Here's what you're getting before I even crack the envelope. I'm going to lay out why a specific big leg name is suddenly glued to Chicago in league chatter, how we'd change our fourth down math from midfield, what a move would cost in picks and cap, where the roadblocks live, and the exact paths that turn smoke into fire without blowing up the rest of the roster build. No spoilers yet. If you want a team that closes, not one that almost, stick with me to the last whistle. This is Bears News Fan Report. Subscribe, like, ring the bell. Around here we talk blue-collar football, trenches, protection, field position, and the ice-in-the-veins moments that separate 98 from 11-6 in the North. Let's set the table. In this division, you don't get pretty domes and perfect turf. You get wind, you get sleet, you get late-game drives that stall at the 38 because the defense knows you don't trust the kick from 56 into a crosswind. That right there is culture. When a coaching staff believes 3 are automatic from the logo in, the whole personality of the team changes. Play calling loosens. Your QB stops forcing the hero throw on 3rd and 7. Your OC takes a shot on 2nd down because, worst case, we're in range. Flip that belief around, and it's death by 1,000 self-inflicted cuts. Punt from no man's land. Give up 22 yards of hidden field position. Ask your defense to bail you out again. That story has played in Chicago too many times. Now, the headline you came for, the name buzzing through NFC hallways this week is Brandon Aubrey. Yes, the long-range, cold-blooded operator who has been drilling kicks that change 2-minute scripts and stealing points other teams leave on the turf. The rumor, underline it as rumor, underline it as speculation, underline it as due diligence, not announcement, is that Chicago has at least run the numbers and sketched the scenarios, what it would take to bring that leg to the lake, when it would be realistic, and how to structure it so you aren't stealing from the future to pay for the present. Dallas loves the guy as they should. Talk of a new deal has been floating. That doesn't stop smart front offices from preparing their own if-then charts. You do the homework now, so if the door cracks for a minute, you're not fumbling with the handle. Why Aubrey and why now? Because he does 3 things in November. December Bears kicker must do to be worth the ink. Drive a low, piercing ball that knifes the wind instead of riding it. Carry real range so your offense can treat the 40 like the 35. And live calm when 70,000 are holding their breath. That combination doesn't just add points to the board, it changes the geometry of the game. Kickoffs land deeper or sail out. Your coverage team takes fewer high-speed reps. Your defense starts more drives from the 25 than the 38, and suddenly the script is tilted in your favor. That's hidden yardage. That's blue-collar football. How does it happen? There are 3 doors, and only one of them is ever wide open. Door 1 is the splashy one, a mid-season trade. It would require the other club to listen, never a given for a closer who's winning them games. You're offering capital they can use tomorrow for a specialist they need today. To get it done, you'd need a pick that makes them squint and maybe a future escalator tied to performance, plus the readiness to pay the man. The risk for Chicago is obvious. You don't sabotage the spine of a roster build by overspending for any one piece, even a closer. If the price crosses your line, you tip the cap and walk. Door 2 is the chess player's door. Wait for free agency if an extension elsewhere stalls or never materializes. That's where cap planning and structure matter. Chicago can build a front-loaded offer that rewards, makes, and distance, keeps year-to-year flexibility, and respects your internal pay ladder. You can carry competition in the spring, you can keep leverage, and you can let the best leg win without creating a civil war in the locker room. That's a grown-up plan. Door 3 is the pressure valve. Let the rumor exist and sharpen the room you already have. Competition makes pros better. A veteran who feels heat tends to get laser-focused. A young challenger on the practice squad forces daily excellence. Sometimes the rumor makes the move unnecessary. Sometimes the rumor is the move. Let's talk fit in Chicago terms. Soldier Field isn't just a venue, it's an element. You need a kicker whose strike point is consistent, who doesn't balloon the ball, whose plant foot doesn't panic on soft turf, and whose tempo doesn't change when the snap clock hits 5. Mechanics that travel produce points that travel. Give a kicker like that an NFL strength program, a special teams coordinator who sequences operations like a pit crew, and a holder whose laces are never a surprise, and you've got a machine. That's what closer means in our sport, and yes, there's a financial side, because there always is. Top legs cost. The delta between a good kicker and a closer is real money. But the value of one extra make in 2 different one-score games? That's season tilting. Structure the contract like you structure a smart edge deal, per game actives, distance incentives, post-season triggers. You're not paying for a name. You're paying for production under pressure. There's a difference. Locker room temperature matters. Specialists can feel like their own island until the team believes in them. Then it's a rising tide deal. The offense jogs off after a stalled drive and still expects 3. The defense sprints on after a sudden change turnover and knows it's protecting a lead, not a tie. The sideline is calmer. The head coach is cleaner on timeouts. The quarterback doesn't force the hero ball into tight windows. That's not romance. That's operational efficiency. And if there's one thing this franchise has begged for over a decade, it's fewer self-inflicted wounds. But let's be straight about the potholes. Paying premium for a kicker mid-build can bite you when injuries stack at tackle in December. Even howitzers need a map. Soldiers' currents humiliate plenty of legs their first month. And the biggest landmine, chasing a ghost. If another team is truly on the cusp of locking him up, you don't tie your entire winter plan to a long shot. That's why you run parallel tracks. Keep your in-house competition real, scout the market, and be ready. But don't count your January points before October snaps. So where do facts end and imagination begin? Here's the clean line. No announcement, no handshake, no agreement in a drawer. This is responsible speculation, buzz you're hearing, because the Bears have been acting like a team that refuses to be casual about 3 points, and because a closer of this caliber would fit our climate and our ethos. It's smoke, and I'm telling you why that smoke exists. If it turns to fire, you'll know. If it's just a pressure tactic 800 miles south, you'll know that too. Either way, you get the truth without the circus. Let's talk football again, because that's where this case sings. Picture 4th and 3 at the opponent 39 with 1:51 left. If you trust your kicker from 57 into the wind, you don't have to call the desperate mesh shot or the sideline out that everyone in the building read 3 seconds earlier. You can run duo, get 2 yards, and kick from 54 if it's 4th and 1. You can throw the inbreaker your QB likes on 2nd down because 3rd down still has value. The defense on the other sideline feels that looseness and starts guessing. That is how one leg makes 11 men better at their jobs. And now the part that makes this show worth your time, the plan I'd sign my name to. I'm green-lighting every phone call that keeps us in the conversation. I'm not stapling a premium pick to a mid-season splash unless the return is overwhelming and the rest of the roster is buttoned up. I am absolutely carrying a live, detailed free agency blueprint, numbers, years, incentives, the whole thing, to strike day one if a window opens. Meanwhile, I'm cranking up the heat in our own room and letting competition do what it always does to pros, sharpen edges. If we end the year with an ironclad closer because we landed one or because we forged one, that's a win, built the Chicago way. Your turn, Chicago. You make the call. Would you flip a day 3 pick and top-tier money for a kicker who can bend 60 through a Soldier Field crosswind? Or do you ride with the men in the building and pour those assets into tackle and edge depth? Drop the terms you'd live with, years, cash, and the pick you'd actually part with. Where's your red line? Be specific. This is a blue-collar fan base. We talk like grown-ups here. Here's where I land as we close. In the NFC North, you can't spot the opponent 3 and sleep at night. Whether the closer's name on the back of the jersey reads Aubrey or the veteran already in the room, the Bears have to make kicker part of the team's identity again. Reliable, rugged, ready when the wind turns mean. That's how you flip those knife-edge Sundays. That's how you make the lake your ally, not your enemy. That's how you put fear back into visiting sidelines when the game shrinks and the breaths get short. This is Bears News Fan Report. Subscribe, like, stay locked. When the next signal pings, rumor or reality, you'll hear it here first with respect for your time.